My humble pranams to all the divine souls who have gathered here today on this beautiful day to listen to this Swadhyaya and Thousand Seeds of God. And my gratitude to Brahmasri Patriki for connecting all of us here today. Okay, we have covered today. We have two guests. That is one is me, and the other person is Master Anita, all the way from India. And we soon to get a lot of guests from India, and for that I'm very very grateful to Master Adita, Master Vasanthi Kumaran, and Master Jayalakshmi, and all the other masters who are always coming and supporting us in our quest in doing this work area. So the Thousand Seeds of Joy was actually it's a collaborative effort in the sense that everybody in our group wanted to do this. So, and to tell you the truth, it is a book that I read, I took twice, and I put it aside because I couldn't understand anything. And Master Devi Balasidhan told me, Madam, don't worry about whether not understanding this book or not, because somehow or other you will connect with this book. So now I'm really, really connected in the sense that I've been listening to almost everybody in Tamil. They're doing in Tamil also. And now we're doing it in English. So a little bit about this book, okay? This book is written by Ananda Karnesh, and he wrote his book based on his understanding and his energy level. Not all of us could connect with that understanding. So I am here to actually tell you what I understand from this book, okay? As they say in spirituality, you are not right or not wrong. So hopefully I am in the middle part, and I'm sharing what I know from this book, okay? So please do not judge me, yeah? I'm not going to go line by line because I couldn't connect with the understanding of the book, but I could connect with the energy of the book, okay? So before I start, I want to tell you a story. You know, there was a huge ocean, and in the ocean, there's a flock of fish. And there was one tiny fish, you know, and that tiny fish always listened to everyone talking about sea, you know, sea, you know, I'm from this sea and from that sea and all those things. And I'm the sea. You know. So he was so curious to know what is the sea? Where is the sea? So one day he asked the mother, I said, Ma, I want to go and see the sea. And the mother looked at the small fish and started with a loving gentleness. She told, we are already in the sea. So that is applicable to all of us. We are all consciousness. We are all consciousness. But unfortunately, we do not realize that. We are already in the sea of consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Things breathe, things that doesn't breathe, animate, inanimate product, everything is consciousness. Okay, here he asks, here the soul feelings that I understand is consciousness. Okay, how can the knowledge of consciousness help us with the spiritual transformation? So we need to, one moment, yeah. Okay. We need to understand what is consciousness. Consciousness level are different consciousness. Okay, here they're talking about consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness, and all those things. From my understanding, what I see is when you are connected sitting down in the meditation, that is you are in your conscious level. Okay, we are actually conscious in all throughout the day, right? That is consciousness level. And then when it goes into meditation, we go into the subconscious level. When we go into the deeper level of emptiness, and I feel that is unconscious level. So that is my understanding of the consciousness here. Okay, the other one I had to pass because I couldn't understand what it says. Okay, here she said, our mind is so much smaller than the body sensation. Here, another country says, I will ask you this question, is our mind so much smaller than the body sensation? Saraswati Amma says, yeah, the body can digest and transform all the contents in the mind, including thoughts, emotion, intellect, memory, and the ego. That's why they said body is finite. Okay, and the consciousness, experiencing the consciousness and subconscious, and the sensation of the body is another transformation. So how do I see it? Okay, mind. You know, in our meditation, we always say empty the mind, empty the mind. We are all conscious being, right? Everything we are consciously seeing, everything we are feeling, everything we are all consciousness. When we empty the mind, what happens is when we are into deep meditation, as one master puts it, when you don't know what is happening in your meditation, you are basically in the field of emptiness. You know, when we talk about emptiness, right? Here we talk about emptiness. Everything comes out of emptiness, nothingness, and so on. So we are actually from that. So emptiness gives you the primordial joy. That's how I see it. Okay. Okay. It says, does the mind become empty as it surrenders and dissolves within the body? We all know. Okay. We all in our meditation we always say empty the mind, empty the mind. But one thing I understand is meditation is something that we do, okay? We do, okay? But meditation is not something that we do, that is something that happens. So we all make the effort to sit in meditation. When we sit in meditation, we get connected to the consciousness, higher consciousness, all the level of consciousness. And we also go into the level of emptiness. That's where we get the primordial joy, okay? So the body. So what happens in the body? So mind, body, and soul. When we get into the consciousness level, when we get into the meditative realm, the mind, body, and soul becomes one. That's my understanding. Yeah, what I'm saying is all these are from my understanding. I might be wrong. It's it's just something that I am sharing based on my understanding. So don't get me wrong, yeah. So when the mind is connected, the body, soul, and mind, body, and soul, that is the ultimate bliss, primordial joy that it is. So when the mind started separating, that's where the suffering comes. We all know suffering is actually created by our own mind. It's not something that is suffering is in one of the what do you call part of concept by Buddha. He said suffering is imminent. That means the mind always creates the suffering because it is dividing. It's having a division between the mind, body, and soul connection. Okay, if you have this body, mind, and soul connection is unified, when you started seeing everything as oneness, that's when the primordial joy is. And that is where most of the higher evolved people, they are always in a state of joy. Because for them, they see everything as one. Suffering also is joy for them. Whatever happens, also joy for them. Because they are in that state of consciousness where they can experience everything as oneness. And that is our ultimate journey. Recently, one master told me, he said, you are an eternal being. So for you to understand you are the eternal being, you need to do a lot of self-searching within you. So do not look for answers outside. Do not look for answers outside. It's all within you. So how do I get this answer within me? It's when we get connected with the body, mind, and soul. How do we get connected with the body, mind, and soul? That is called the Holy Trinity. Yeah? That is when you start observing your breath in your meditation. When there is like a space between the breath and the meditation, is what called emptiness. I hope I'm making sense, yeah? Okay, here he's asking, are you saying the words rise from a single thought? We all know thoughts are very powerful. We all know, okay, some Puranas says that the world got created with a single thought. We have the capacity to have that single thought also. Everything animate and inanimate in the universe is made up of emptiness. We all know it's emptiness. It's like, how do we explain emptiness? When we go recently I went to a beach holiday and I was sitting at the beach and this thought came to me. I started, I was telling my friends, there was just sand. I told my friends, okay, you see, there's nothing here. This is emptiness. And then I created a castle. So now there's castle here. What do you see? Castle. And then I got rid of the castle. So what do you see? Nothing, emptiness, right? So everything comes from emptiness, goes into emptiness. If you can understand that, that is a little bit of revelation in your enlightenment. Okay? So enlightened one say that what they say is like, one may say everything is made of nothing, just like physical world will say gravity is nothing. Okay, so this is a bit too much science for me, so I couldn't understand that. But what I can say is everything comes out of nothing and goes back to nothingness. Okay, and this single thought can create universe. If you in affirmation, they always say, put the thought forward. So the thought is actually something that will materialize. Okay, so it's how do I put this? Let me put it this way. You all have the capacity to create universe with your thought. Okay, when you realize that you are divine beings, we are all divine beings. We are all connected to the higher levels. Okay, the mind is the one that is separating us between between higher being and us. Okay, and you say, is the universe finite, infinite? We all know. I think I've read so many books that says the universe, it was a first level, the universe, multi-levels, multiverse, and all those things. So there are so many universes, and every universe there are plenty universe, and here it is asking. There are many bigger than yours. Okay, there are universe that is much bigger than us. That we all know. Okay, and we know this through a lot of books also. People have written about going to the space, going to another planet, and so on. So we all know about that. So here is asking, there must be infinite number of gods. And yes, Saraswati must say, yes, there is plenty of gods. But the problem is, there are gods in an infinite number of divine beings, such as angels, Buddhas, gods, and goddesses. But however, she says that sentient beings, people like us are more than the gods. Okay? Okay. And then he says another thing that is, he said, if you say there are infinite number of gods, but there's only one God, how do you say that? Because you see, everything comes from emptiness. Okay, everything comes from emptiness. Everything has consciousness. So when we start, in the end, I think we saw in chapter 2 that all the goddess and actually all the divine emptiness. Sorry, anybody who merge into emptiness become one. So that's what, from what my understanding, that's what I understand. You see, when you're from emptiness, you come out as different beings or different consciousness. When you go back to the emptiness, you're all merged as one. The thoughts, everything, the consciousness, the whole consciousness is complete as one. So I think that is the reason that in Hinduism it says that we can have many deities, but ultimately everything is one. Okay, that's my understanding. Yeah. Okay, and then here we say divine beings. The divine beings, that means all the people who have highly realized, who have realized themselves. Okay, who are these divine beings? These people actually, in Puranas, it says that these people have actually come as human beings, have gone through human life, have passed through all the challenges, and they have realized themselves, they are connected with their soul, and that's that they have become higher level. And we all know that we have taken thousands, hundreds and hundreds of our birth. The purpose of this birth is for us to understand that we are divine beings. When we become divine beings, we have the divine beings go to the higher level. Okay. So here, in what the divine beings' ultimate wish is to see all the individual soul like us. Okay, to become fruitful and multiply into divine beings like them. The reason is they want to see each one of you here to know yourself, to understand yourself, to work on yourself, to become a divine being like them. That is the message I got. Okay. One divine being and infinite divine being can be equally true. As I said, when we all go into the oneness, everybody is connected to each other. So it becomes one. Okay, so multiple divine beings, but when it combined as one whole consciousness with the primordial joy, in that place of emptiness, everything is done. Okay. And then he said, how do you explain this? So how to explain this is, let's say you see a forest, okay? A forest of nothing. It's a bit difficult to imagine, you know. How can you imagine a forest? There's nothing there, just nothingness there. And flowers, nothing. Trees, nothing. So it's actually all empty. Everything's empty. You know, everything's empty and there's no feeling of finiteness. There's no feeling of anything. But it's all, you know, it's all there. Yet it's not there. It's a bit difficult to understand this. You know, the whole area, everything is empty, yet it's there. Exactly. So, as I said, this book is it's a bit challenging, but this is what I understand. From nothingness, we go into nothingness. Okay, nothingness is primordial joy. Okay. So why do we use energy of flowers? It's separateness. You know? When we separate ourselves from this consciousness, then we have this identification, my body, my this one, my, and that's when exactly the suffering starts. Okay. So they said we literally create gods and goddesses and entire universe. Yes, we do create. As I said, a single thought can create the god and goddesses. Okay. So here, what they're saying, part of your mind. You see, the part of your mind is deeper. There's a deeper part in your mind. There's some kind of emptiness. That emptiness is the one that connects with all the universe. So when that connection is there, how do I put this? Okay, how do I put this? It's a bit tough for me. Let me see. How do I put this? Okay, the mind is there. Okay, the whole mind is, we all know we only use about 7 to 11% of our mind. So the computer is, they said, our mind is like equivalent to 10 computer. So we are only using this part of the mind, you know. This part of the mind is where the identification, everything is there. The other part of the mind is actually empty. So when you tap into that mind, you become one. So with your thoughts is the one you are creating, whatever that you are. You can create God, goddess, entire universe. And that's what I understand here. And here they talk about positive thinking. Okay, here the positive thinking that Saraswati Amma is telling, that when your positive thinking is linked to your emotion, that means you have feeling, lots of feeling, deeper layers of body and soul. The positive thinking, you know, if the positive thinking is connected to your feelings, a deeper layers of feelings, of consciousness, that is when you have the experience of unifying. Okay, that is positive thinking. Not like I just that I said you look very good, but if I don't mean anything, it doesn't mean anything. But if I say you are looking very good, with so much of love and all those things, that is the connection that you have between you and I because of this positive thinking. Okay, so it is a deeper connection of consciousness between both. Okay. Okay. Here, okay, they talks about emptiness, right? Mind, body, and soul is the Holy Trinity. We understand that. So when we connect in our meditation, when we go deep into our meditation, deep into emptiness, that is when we connect with all the other other universe, we can connect with the higher self, with the other universe, with the oneness of things. So during that time, when we had that connection, this physical body is transformed into a rainbow body that joins with the finite and infinite of the universe. Okay, so the entire universe becomes immersed in oneness. So during that time, is what we say, light is love, touch is orgasmic, smell is ecstasy, and sound is bliss. So this one, what I can understand is we are talking about a higher level of connection with the, it's beyond the universe. I think beyond the universe sensation, beyond the body sensation, beyond the consciousness, when you're connecting to the whole of universe, as the bringers of the dawn, it says we all come from one divine energy and we are the sparks. So when we connect with that divine energy, so that is where the beautiful sensation that we are talking about is. And that is something that we all of us can achieve. So all the high masters have achieved it. So we also can achieve that. So the Holy Trinity that we are talking about is body, mind, and soul. So for body, what they're asking us to do is, one moment, yeah. For body, what they're asking us, they ask us to go to yoga, breath, mindfulness, body, and tantric methods. For soul feeling, they want us to concentrate on joy, abundance, love. For emotion, they ask us to do a meditative practice, emptying oneself with presence. But in here, what I can understand is, we just follow the principles of PSSM. Okay, first meditation. Meditation, that is for your body, mind, and soul. And then satsang. Satsang is for the body. Okay. And Sajjana Sangatya. Sorry. Sajjana Sangatya is for the physical, for your whole understanding. And Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is something that you connect with the mind, these things. So these 2-3 areas that you do this, you can actually achieve your mind, body, and soul connection. Okay. And excuse me, okay, I'm running out of time. Let me see. What's the last thing? Okay, another thing that they say is love. Every masters are telling us to love. Okay, love, share your love, connect with love. Everything is love. The entire universe is created with love. We understand that. So if we can have this kind of connection with love, and then with our meditative practices, we live a life where we see oneness in everybody, every living being, non-ahimsa. When you see other person as a part of you, we are all together. When you see all these things, and then the consciousness, our consciousness will definitely expand. When our consciousness expands, that is when we are reaching our enlightenment. Enlightenment is nothing, just knowing yourself. Okay, with that, thank you everyone. This is what I could understand from this book. As I said, I might be wrong, okay, but this is my understanding. So with this, I pass to you, Master Anita.
Thank you, ma'am. It was awesome, ma'am. I would first start with thanking the universe for just giving me this opportunity. So wherever I'm there in life today, to my God Perumal, and I want to extend my gratitude to Patriji for giving us such a platform to express our views and share our knowledge. Thank you so much. So the topic that I have taken is from as a continuation of what Tila ma'am said. So it goes to the next level of thoughts. So she was talking about mind, body, and soul connection. So it goes to from thoughts, emotions to soul, feelings is what this chapter talks about. So the conversation is very lively in terms of, you find a connect when you read this, what do I say, this book, I'm able to feel a connect that we are sitting there and talking to her in person. So how she starts this first question on this chapter starts as, normally what we do is we carry our emotional pain from the past and we are worried about our future always. So what happens is we find it very difficult to stop thinking. So how do we get out of this emotional pain is what the chapter starts with. So and the explanation she gives is ultimate. So what she says is you just imagine yourself, if there is a plant, right? Your thoughts, too many thoughts and emotions are like weeds which do not allow the seed of joy from getting water and light. So if you're going to have too many emotion and thoughts, you cannot enjoy nature. So and just imagine yourself sitting along with your very lovable person and you're not mindful, not enjoying your present sitting with them. Then what happens is ego starts to get into your life and you start to judge the person with whom you're talking. So this is how ego enters into your mind. So we will have to be mindful is what we get a message from her. So mindfulness, how do we do it? Again, it goes to what I understand is meditation. So you'll have to be aware of what is happening around yourself. And the next question, it goes to, okay, we were talking about ego. So now, how does this ego arise is what is being discussed. So normally, how does this process start is from our early childhood. So what happens is the children, when they are growing, if they are not surrounded by joy, they are not exposed to being happy. That is, if you see nowadays, that's not happening. What happens is we are in the parents and the household does not give the child a circumstance wherein they are happy, they are able to enjoy things. Then they start to become introverted. The children, they gather whatever they get from the surroundings, and they start to become introverted. They become very self-conscious. That is where the ego starts to get into them, especially when they are going through their puberty. What happens is fear, insecurities, negative emotions, all these start to handle them. And normally we know about our chakras, which plays a vital role. The lower two chakras, which are very important energy chakras, get blocked. And your ego starts to manifest through your third chakra, which is the chakra which deals with your emotions. So that is the first creation of ego in a child. So what happens is this ego starts the in this ego in the child starts him or her to visualize the world as good, bad, right, wrong. When these two, so it is two extremes that they start to see in life. And this ego again starts to create jealousy, pride, hate, and all these emotions. What happens is they start to have their own beliefs. They start to believe things in their life. They have their own judgments. They start to brand people. So this ego, what happens is, though it is a thought in the mind, it becomes an emotion. And this creates a lot of emotions. But as ma'am said, she was talking about emptiness. In this absence of this ego, what happens is all the thought aggregates like perception, perspectives, emotions, everything dissolves into emptiness. So where do we get emptinesses? We will have to be mindful about what is happening around us, and this mindfulness takes you to a place wherein your emotions dissolve into emptiness. So
என்னது
yeah. So what happens is again, is ego an emotional experience? Is what the question is raised, and yes, ego is, when you don't recognize ego is an emotion. You will have to. How do I dissolve my ego? Is you will have to be aware of your body sensations. Whenever you feel you are into an ego mode, surely your body starts to show up. So your body sensations you would need to surrender is what she says. And ego takes up to what we do when we are in a mode of ego. We tend to take up certain things, perceive certain things, and our perception starts to work out. So is perception again a thought aggregate? Yes. So what happens is in a perception is different from a sensation. But what happens is with this perception is what you start to perceive the world around you. So you start to use your senses. So when a small kid starts to have this ego unknowingly, it becomes bigger and bigger as the child grows. So when it reaches its puberty or teenage, this ego will reach to a level wherein he sees the world very differently. So unknowingly this ego starts to grow along with a child. So yes, the what happens is the young children normally perceive the world with lot of joy in their hearts. But how do the adults perceive the world? It is much more serious. We look at life much more seriousness. So right from the childhood, if the children are encouraged to be quiet, centered, what happens is they start to, instead of being, what do I say, instead of being getting locked by the ego, they would naturally be with the joy that they are born with, and they will start to be clear on what they are doing. Whereas what's happening in this world of now is there is an interdependent relationship between ego and your thought aggregates. That is your judgments, perspectives, and all that. So when the child grows without knowing that he is or she is under influence of ego, all these beliefs, perspectives start to get strengthened without their knowledge. And similarly, all the emotions which support these perception beliefs like fear, anger, hate, jealousy, all them also are getting strengthened. So what happens is the child grows with all this, and he waits when he grows to an adult, he wants someone to approve him. He starts to expect for approval. And this budding ego lands up in wherein the child starts to feel the pressure what is around, no, the running world. He has to compete, he has to succeed. So again, he gets more food for his ego, and this ego is getting strengthened line by line in his life. Every day this happens in his life. So what happens is normally love is unconditional. But with all these preset ego and the perceptions, love becomes conditional. And jealousy as an ego takes over him, and this results in frustration. He or she starts to demand, I want this should be done. So this ego starts to handle him totally, which when extended to the community, what happens is there is violence in the world. They start to demand acceptance and approval. So if a country wants something, they say, we need this from you. So they start to demand. And if it is in a marriage, again, this plays a very vital role. They say, you do this, I do this. So these kind of things start to start out, play a vital role in their lives. To dissolve these emotional love, the main thing, as ma'am was saying, you will have to be in total control of your body, mind, and soul. So how do you know this? Through your body sensations. So you would the easiest way is the very very easy way is to surrender yourself to whatever is happening around you with joy, compassion. Okay, someone does something, forgive them. Be of ultimate gratitude for whatever you have now. When you do all this, you go to a state of emptiness, and from there you can enjoy life on a better scale. So this is what she says, how do you enjoy your unconditional love? And when she talks about fear, it really gave me a lot of insight about what's happening around life. Fear, as it said, it is opposite of love. So it is a very very basic emotion which we need to handle the minute we are aware of it by our breath. When we have a fear, our breath starts to differ. You start to breathe fast. So that is the first identification. So nature has made it very easy for you to understand that fear has started to run around you. So we will have to be in acceptance of what is happening. And this, what do I say? Everything that happens in life has a reason. So start to see it from emptiness. Don't add any stories to it. Just be present wherever you are. Face the fear. Accept the fear. Yes, I have a fear in handling this. Then is when your mind gets cleared. So as ma'am said, the trinity of body sensations, soul feelings, all that come and play a role there and gives you a clarity how to handle that situation. So what happens is positive emotions yeah, we do have positive emotions, but emotions have some role. The mind plays a role in your emotions also. So when your mind starts to play the game, you will need to be aware and mix that emotion with joy. And again, be aware, body sensations. How am I reacting to it? What is my feeling telling to this? How do I go to emptiness? When you start to think like this, your emotion starts to transform into a soul feeling. You get naturally, when you're very emotional and you realize all this, you tend to become calm. So that calmness can also be the soul feeling that she's talking about. And faith, when the next topic, what she talks is just the opposite of fear, which is faith. And she is giving us an exercise to do, which I tried out doing it. So she says, take one example of an item or a human being, or say God. You have the ultimate faith on a person. Just think about them, close your eyes, and just see your body reaction, how body sensations rather. How do you, what is that faith doing in you? For me, when I thought about the God that I truly believe in, I was feeling very energetic. I felt very good. So she says, whenever you say that you have a faith, but you're not clear, do I believe that 100%? Close your eyes, check your body sensations. Is the sensation what do you say, is it negative thoughts, emotion, or your ego is coming out, or is your sensation expansive due to joy, love, and other soul feelings? So what happens is, once when you're clear, you would know, is my faith 100% on what I'm believing on? So that clears up a lot of things. So what you can do is, how do I empty my mind, was what was discussed in the earlier chapter. So how you can expand your faith is by emptying all the judgments and limiting beliefs you have about that faith, whatever it is. All the judgments that you carry, when you drop it, what happens? Your soul, your faith becomes 100%, and your body sensation will show you that. You will feel calm. You will feel very incredible. You will see a difference. Moreover, if you're going to check with whom do you have that faith, no, you will start to love that person more. For you will be very clear that faith is 100% that you have on the person. So what happens is, your everything is your joy, what you have been enjoying in your childhood would now, if you see a child, normally they are too active for the love that they experience. They don't question, they just surrender to the joy that they have. They just believe what they have. And what they do is, they do not have any bit of fear about it. They just believe the person, the parents. That faith is what keeps them very happy. So next is what, how fear. Again, one more dimension of fear is, what do you mean by fear of God? Is this fear about God in various societies has happened because we were taught by our parents and society, this is good God, this is bad God, don't do this, don't do that. So what happens is, okay, I am trained to say that this is a good God. When someone comes and tells me, no, 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 this religion is not good, you will have to follow this, then my ego starts. So unknowingly, what I do is, I'm not against the God that they are talking about, but I'm against the person who's telling me that what I'm doing is wrong. So this creates a sense of separativeness, and people start to take superiority over the others. So fear of God starts to disintegrate human beings. It is not that God comes in and does all this. It is the human mind that does all this. So there's a wonderful question asked. Is this faith on the religion has led to wars and terrorism? Perfectly yes. Because what happens is there is a lot of religious faith which has been polluted for years together. So what they have been doing is they have themselves they have a notion saying punishing God, judgmental God, and all that. And when you're not able to accept it, you tend to have a grudge against the person who's talking about it. So there's one wonderful explanation which she's given. When I talk about it, I'm getting goosebumps. She says, think of a newborn child. It has complete faith in her mother. She knows the mother will nurse her, hold her, kiss her, take care of her, and the child completely surrenders to her with joy. There's nothing there. So what happens? Things go the way the child wants it. If the child is hungry, the mother knows. It is that connection that they have is based on the faith that the child has on the mother. Similarly, when you do your mantras, you don't doubt, if I do this, will God give me this? Will I do this? God, what will God give me? We don't do it like that. We do it complete faith that, okay, I want to do this and I'm doing it. And when you finish such say you read a book or you do a mantra like that, after finishing it, it is your faith that has made you, that has created a channel for you to heal by either reciting the mantra or a meditation. It is the faith that has created the path for your healing. So the first thing to start in life, say you're going to sit for meditation, it should be, okay, I'm going to sit for meditation and I completely surrender. I have complete faith on the universe that this has been given to me for a reason and I'm going to do it. So when you do it with absolute faith, you have no other choice only to be happy in your life, and your healing automatically starts. There's no procedure for healing to start. It is the faith and the body sensation that we react to. So again, what is the difference between a positive emotion and a soul feeling was a wonderful question which I enjoyed. So what happens is there are certain notions what people say. Does the sun revolve around the earth? And these kind of common traits, they start to emote on it and they start to contradict on it. So when, say, we believe the sun revolves around the earth, so such a faith is an emotion. Okay, it is filled with finite path. It is an emotion. But the mind, what it starts is, it puts on to negative things, a lot of things, and they start to contemplate on it. Then is where the problem starts. So a believer without these mind contents and with great joy in her heart will not question anything scientifically proven truth, like the earth revolves around the sun. Okay, it is those people who have little joy inside themselves and much fear of God or devil, will question all the scientific evidence. When you have joy inside you, you will start to enjoy it. And this, what happens is, when they have a fear of God and devil, then they will start to force religious conversations with people. So what happens is, this kind of doubt, it is used to investigate the physical reality for survival. Whereas faith, what does it does is, as ma'am said, it starts to expand your consciousness. You would start to expand your consciousness, not wasting your time on questioning on things which is basic. If the earth is not revolving around the sun, we would not exist. Why do you want to waste your time on something which has been proven? Rather, you will get into a faith on it, and you will start to get into your next dimension of life. So that's one line I wanted to read. Falsifying incorrect beliefs with doubt is the path of science. Verifying deeper level of consciousness that grow with faith is the path of spirituality. So you getting into your deeper levels of consciousness with faith will take you into spirituality. There are a lot of things that's already been proved. In that, a scientific person even will not question if he's looking at with joy. So there's a lot of things that again about science that they have dealt. I'm just taking the essence of it. So in this, what is done is, the problem occurs when doubt is used to question deeper level of consciousness. Okay, what he says is, when does a problem occur? when you start to use doubt to question, instead of using faith to get into consciousness, problem occurs. So start to get into conscious levels, deeper levels of consciousness with faith. And this faith, what it will do is, it will transfer you from the material realm to the realm of consciousness. So again, here the best example again they have used. A mother never doubts that love that arises spontaneously between her and the child. There is no need for her to prove anything, as her heart surrenders to the other one with joy. So the best example everywhere, what we should be doing is, are we doing a mother's role here? Whatever be the scenario, do we have anything to question? So when you have that kind of a faith in life, no, in any situations, and you connect joy to it, what happens? Joy starts to grow, and the connection between the opposites starts to strengthen. My connection with you will start to become deeper when I start to connect with you with faith, with lot of joy. And that is, I enjoy, and what do? I enjoy and have faith on you. So enjoy life is the essence, is what she's trying to say. So the very vital question is asked. So you mean to say both doubt and faith can coexist? Yes. The emotions of doubt and faith are finite, whereas the soul feeling is infinite. The emotions are finite, whereas the soul feeling of faith is infinite. The difference between emotions and soul feelings is too big to ignore. So you cannot be saying that I'm not sure whether I'm having an emotion or a soul feeling. Easily you will know it by your body sensations. You're feeling happy, you're feeling charged. Yes, you have a soul feeling. No, I'm feeling negative. I'm able to judge that person who's sitting next to me. Then, yes, you're dealing an emotion, simply. When you feel faith and other infinite soul feelings, visualize them to be bigger than the entire universes, including the universe you live in. This was the mind-blowing line of this thing. What you're supposed to do is, when you feel faith, okay, I'm going to think about my God, and I have faith on him, and whatever infinite soul feelings I have with me, I start to visualize it bigger than this, all the existing multiverses, not the universe. All the universes, I'm going to think my faith along with joy that it is bigger than everything. Then that's it. You're done. Your life is done. So that is what they say. Yes, entire universes arise and dissolve in the expense of joy, love, and other infinite soul feelings like little snowflakes. So once when you have that ultimate faith and you start to look at that faith with joy, there's nothing to stop you. Keep going. You will go to your next realm of consciousness. And so to sum up, what I understood is, once you know you want to check, are you emotional, are you with a soul feeling, you would check your body sensation. Am I happy? Am I reactive? Yes, I have a soul feeling. Okay. I'm not happy. Am I able to judge a person? Then it is a ego is playing around, and I have an emotion feeling towards it. So this is what I understood about this, map.
Beautiful, really beautiful, Anita. I really
Thank
enjoyed.
you, ma'am.
I enjoyed this session. It was so clear in explaining. Thank you so much, dear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Let us open for questions. Anybody want to say anything?